What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass like it. Subscribe, hype. I would like to apologize to, I guess, Greg Miller, only because I misheard what he said. I'm only apologizing because I thought he called Satya Nadella a bag of dicks, but a bag of shit. Sorry, excuse the language. But in reality, he's speaking so fast. He was telling him to eat a bag of shite. So that's only it's just I misheard what he said. But I just listened to the whole clip again, and yeah, F kind of funny. F, not Paris, because he didn't have anything to do with this outburst. I get it. I get the passion, but this is not the way to do it. So what you're doing, Greg, let me just let you know. Let me just explain to you, since you think that you're so smart, and you say you and Paris and everybody else there, we're so smart, and all the Xbox executives are dumb. Let me explain. Asha Sharma is there to fix what's broken. That's what she does. She went to Instacart, she fixed it. She went to Meta, she got them a bunch of users. She's good at her job. She hires people who are good at their job. You're good at your job, and your job is that. So just continue that. That's why you're not a CEO of a major corporation, nor am I. But Asha is being real. What you're doing, Greg Miller, is not being real. You're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna keep all these studios," blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at the studios. That's like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna keep Bungie as it is. You know what? I'm gonna hire back the 900 people we fired because Bungie needs to be the studio creatively and blah blah." And you're just like throwing out the business end, the money part, and you're yelling at the end. It's all about the money. Yes, it is. I mean, you have a business. You got people to pay. They got to put food on the table. That's the whole reason why you made this whole tirade, so that it can spread. It can become viral, so you can get the clicks, so you can get that money. So the hypocrisy is right in front of your face. You're literally doing exactly what Asha's doing, except Asha's fixing the business so that it's profitable based off of its creative endeavors, its content, its product. Your product is just to make a lot of noise and have people click on it. Seems all the same to me. So I can sit here and yell about you yelling about Xbox. I'm not gonna do that because it's hot. It's like 106 degrees out today. And no. And I don't have the AC on because Traley Bailey, while she is very reliable, she's also very loud. My girl's loud. So I can't have her on while I could put the little noise canceling thing on here, but it messes up the sound. So I just like it brand new. I like it. You can hear all the traffic in it. Anyway, Craig, so I forgot who posted it, but they said this is a bad take, and it is a bad take. Greg Miller's take on what Xbox should do is bad. He said they should get out of hardware. Now I know I touched on this on the last video, but I wanted to focus on this because people like him with that idea is kind of equal to let's just destroy all the video games. Because you're only focusing on Xbox, right? But when you say that, you have to say that for everyone, because everyone. These are not This is not vacuum. Every PlayStation isn't in a vacuum. Nintendo isn't in a vacuum. Xbox is not in a vacuum. They all are part of the same hardware struggles. They all have to deal with the same limitations. And so if you apply one logic and theory to one Xbox, then you need to apply the same to PlayStation. Who's going to buy a PlayStation? You can't afford a PlayStation. It's $900 plus, $750 plus, $650 plus. It's too expensive. Oh, let's just make more PlayStations. We can't. It's too expensive. The component parts, they're too expensive. The same thing you said about Xbox, you need to say about PlayStation. You need to say about Nintendo, because it is true. That is the truth. The only difference is that Nintendo's costs are different. They're still increased, but they're different because the hardware is literally different from Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox and PlayStation are more equal, if you will. The Switch definitely is cheaper to produce, so cheaper price, but still their prices they went up price. They're gonna probably go up prices again because they're not losing money. That's what it is. PlayStation and Xbox want to follow that suit. Hey, that's their business, but it's gonna come at a cost that nobody's gonna buy the consoles. And like Paris said, keep what you got, or get a cheap PC and try to struggle on that. You could play most of the games, Xbox games, you could play on PC. So PlayStation is the only one out, and I think I look at what's going on and I'm like, PlayStation is the one where their hardware future is iffy, because even if their console is less powerful than, it will be less powerful than the Helix, but what ultimately makes it cheaper, it's still not going to be cheap. That's what people don't realize. If the Pro is $900 and the PlayStation 6 is more powerful than the Pro, you know where I'm going, right? Pro is going to be over $1,000. Are you going to buy a Pro for $1,000? Not a lot of people are. And so a lot of people are going to stick with Gen 5, even PlayStation 4. The only reason why they would go to PlayStation 5, if they had to, nobody's going from PlayStation to 4 to 6. They're not doing that. If the PlayStation 5 was kind of cheap, and if they could play Fortnite and all these things, like if they stop supporting Fortnite on PS4, then you'll see a migration. Same with Xbox. If they stop supporting Madden, if they stop supporting, I guess Call of Duty this year will be, I think it's only going to be this gen. I'm not sure, but if that happens, you're gonna have some people move over. But that's what has to happen. The games that people are playing, those black hole games that people were playing on 2 generations ago, or 1 generation ago, they need to stop supporting those and then move it over. But that's money. That's V-Bucks every month. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna cut off our revenue fund just so that we can get people to buy a new play. It's like, you think about like Epic, and it's like, why should we stop supporting the PlayStation 4 when we're making money? It doesn't benefit us to stop that support. So what? So you can sell consoles? No. Or what they could do, Epic, you listening? This is what you do. You say anybody who's got an Xbox One version or PlayStation 4 version of Fortnite, you get the free PC version equivalent. It'd be like super low, whatever. And you get the free PC version. That way you just get a laptop or whatever, boom, play it on there. Play it on your phone, whatever. All your stuff comes over, boom, you're good to go. A lot of kids are playing on their phone anyway, but it's the whole hardware discussion is and Greg, he blamed Satya Nadella for the AI thing, and I'm like, first of all, disingenuous. Okay, I know he knows it was Sam Altman. It wasn't Satya that said, "Oh, let's buy up all these chips so then there's to be a shortage." That's not what happened. Sam Altman said, "Yeah, we gonna buy all these chips because blah 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 blah," and everybody's like, "Oh, okay. So you want to order? How much you want to order? 1 million, billion, trillion? Oh, that's all of them. Okay. Oh, you gonna buy them, right? Yeah, I'm gonna buy them. Yeah. Then he was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not buying those no more. It's like, but you said, yeah, no, I changed my mind. You ain't got no contract, so sorry. And then, all these chip makers are left holding their balls. Like, oh, snap. We already increased the prices of everything, so we can't go back now. It's such a, what happened is so BS. And a lot of people aren't really talking about that whole Sam Altman part of this whole hardware, chip shortage, all these things, and what happened, and the fact that there shouldn't be a shortage anymore, but the industry will not let go of that money. And so you don't look at Satya Nadella and say, oh, blah, blah, eat a bag of shite, blah, 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 and yelling at him, without yelling at the actual source of this whole thing starting, which was Sam Altman. Greg Miller, I know you know who he is. I know you know what went down. But it doesn't benefit your channel to yell at Sam Altman because ponies and duck unicorns don't know who the hell he is. Because they're uneducated. They don't know the dang. They want to hear bad Xbox. That's what they want to hear. Bad Microsoft. That's what they want to hear. And that's what you're feeding them. So get them clicks. That money. So I'm looking at him yelling like a biatch. Yelling like a dumbass. Yelling like a fool. And I know it's on purpose. I know what he's doing. And sure, he's passionate about games. But he's not being realistic. The business needs to be healthy in order for games to exist. Look at all the studios that have closed. Why do you think they've closed? Because they made the best, most successful game in the world? No. Games that are successful, the studios are still around. See Fortnite, I mean, you know, they're making a good game, I guess, whatever. I don't play it, but, you know, they're making a good game. They're making enough money, obviously, right? Call of Duty. They spend a lot of money on their games. They also make a lot of money on their games. They still around. However many 4 or 5 studios that make those games, right? Madden, EA, they still around. Tiburon or whoever's making the Madden and stuff. FIFA, same thing. They're still around because the games make money. I mean, you can yell all you want, but if your game doesn't make money, it doesn't matter the quality of the game. It doesn't matter if it's dope, if it's nice, if it's trash. If it doesn't make money, that's it and that's all. You better make something that makes money or you're out of here. That's it. That's business 101. What's the problem? Keep your feelings, put them in the side, put them in the back. Then you come out and you talk about what the real issue is. Instead of yelling and screaming like an idiot, that doesn't help anybody. As if that informs no one. That gives us how you feel about it, which is fine, sure. But I would say stop that behavior only because it's infectious, and I would say the weak-minded will grab onto it and emulate it. Kind of happens sometimes, you know. Not saying no names. I usually do say names. And I've said it before, so y'all know who I'm talking about. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What does matter is that the Xbox tax, I know I said it last, Xbox tax is real. Just a video like that is concrete evidence. All of these articles coming out from it was Tom Henderson, I think he said some bullshit. It's ridiculous, whatever. I know I'm repeating myself, so it's just not going to be a long video. I just wanted to go into that a little bit more and talk about it's really like the hardware situation and stuff, why it is such, and like the solutions. And the thing is, it's like Asha and Matt and everybody else, Team Xbox, Team X, if you will. That's another thing. The whole team. I said this a couple videos ago. The fact that they're not calling the X-Men in the Wolverine game is some bullshit. I'm sorry. No. Like, what year does this take? The X-Men been around for decades, so I don't want to hear, the X-Men, they hadn't formed yet. No. I don't want to hear that. Y'all, no. Just because it has men in it, get out of here, man. Yo, I'm pretty sure that's why. Team X. Get that. That's black. Y'all shouldn't even buy that. That game should be canceled just because of that. Team X. They better be called if they don't call them the X-Men and at any time, a point in time in that game, no, that's a giant L. I'm sorry, no. Anyway, sorry for tangents everywhere. But you know, like I said, the hardware part, and like I said, the thing that I was getting to is that Asha and the Team X, Xbox team, they are actively working on solutions. right? And what do we hear from the blue side? What do we hear from the ponies and Donkey Unicorn leaders? Crickets. They ain't saying nothing. The rumors come out, right? Nothing. Crickets. So, if they don't say anything, does that mean we are to assume that the rumors are true? Right? Or, I mean, PlayStation has historically been they don't say anything. So we can't assume that. And I'm talking about the whole pulling away from PC, blah, 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 which makes no business sense at all. Plus, they don't have enough hardware to cover it because, I mean, it's not about actually the hardware that's sold. I mean, we have the evidence. We have the receipts. We have the numbers. PlayStation players don't buy PlayStation games. So, in turn, Wolverine's not going to sell like Spider-Man 2018. Will it sell like Spider-Man 2? I doubt it. I don't think it will. Spider-Man's about to come out with a movie right now. Nobody's talking about that Wolverine game. They're talking about the Spider-Man movie. If a Spider-Man game was coming out, it would sell a lot because the Spider-Man movie's about to jump off. But ain't a Wolverine movie coming out. Nobody talk about Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine from, that was years ago. I said it before. Wolverine is not as popular of a character as Spider-Man. That's the first knock against it, and the game doesn't look as fun as Spider-Man. You're not swinging. You're riding motorcycles and whatever. And you're probably gonna play as what was she? The X-23 at some point. That's her. That's what's her name? Because you gotta play a female Wolverine, right? I was listening to somebody breaking down. There's a new storyline in the Wolverine comic. Real tangent, real quick, and it's about this new alien that's called Adamantine. I think it's called Adamantine, something like that. Where it's a sentient version of the metal, but it takes on a gold color, and it possesses beings that have adamantium in them. It's such a weird kind of change for Wolverine, because Wolverine was fighting he's fighting a bunch of people who had adamantium, and he was actually fighting the entity, and then the entity tried to take over Wolverine, but it couldn't. It was weird, and it was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Are they going to do that in the? Hell no, they're not going to do it in the game. The game is going to be whatever. I really don't. I'm trying to think, like, what could they do in the game to make it, like, story wise, I'm talking. And then they showed Jean Grey. I was like, oh, hell no, that's not, no. Why does Jean Grey look like that? She looked like a man. A mannish woman. She has a strong jawline. She looked like Gambit. She stole Gambit's coat. When you think of Jean Grey, first thing that comes into my mind, first two things that come into my mind. First thing is Jim Lee's swimsuit issue. I think it was the first thing he did, swimsuit edition of the X. It wasn't just X-Men, but it was primarily X-Men because he was drawing X-Men at the time. It's for Marvel. And Jean Grey was on the cover. I think she was on the cover. And she was like, cow. You know how you draw as women, right? So she was like, boosh. I was like, yep, that's pretty. Jim Lee know how to draw them ladies. And then the second one is X-Men 92, 97. What was the cartoon on that? The animated show on Disney Plus, the new one. I was like, she's pretty. She's a good looking. She kind of reminds me of Mary Jane Watson. Mary Jane from Spider-Man. Except, like, when I think of Mary Jane, when I first was introduced to Mary Jane, it was through Todd McFarlane's artwork. So his stuff is super exaggerated, big boobies and big old thick he like them thickums. And so I was like, oh, okay, fingers though. Them fingers was like, but yeah, And then I looked like at the older stuff. I was like, oh, okay, that's regular. She's supermodel, but she don't look all super like boop. But yes, I think traditionally Jean Grey has been a very attractive redhead lady. And Insomniac has a goal. They have a mission to uglify women. Look, this is entertainment. Entertainment is all about smoke and mirrors. You go to a movie, right? You got actors and stuff on the screen. They all got makeup on. Ain't no actor, unless it's like an indie movie where they're like, no makeup, we ain't got the budget for it. This is raw. You're homeless. It's raw. Even with the homeless people, they got a little dirt. They splash some dirt on. That's technically makeup. It's about the illusion. That's what it is. And since Sony likes making these movie games, that's one thing I don't understand. Like the God of War Lao Fei. Like I forgot her name. The actual actress. Something. The 3-name lady. She is not an ugly woman. Okay? She's not ugly. And once again, they put makeup on, they get the lights a certain way, blah blah blah, right? I look at the game, I'm like, I understand you're trying to be realism. Let's not do that. Let's make your people attractive. Like Kojima understands this. You look at Death Stranding, all the people on there look good. Even freaking Del Toro popping up. Guillermo? Wow, that's not his name. Del Toro. Even he comes out and he's a big heavy set man, but still, he's a handsome man. And what's her name? She's pretty. She's all smooth face and stuff. I mean, they got some pores, but they're done up. Kojima knows what he's doing. What's his name? I can't remember nobody's name today. The main guy. He's scruffy looking. Like in real life, IRL, he don't look like that. Like his muscles ain't all nice like that. But that's what they did. They put a little movie magic on there, like sprinkles, that make him look good. So why is it so important that PlayStation makes their games, or the actors, or I guess it's mostly the females, right? I don't know. They don't look as attractive as I think they should, because once again, this is Hollywood make-believe magic. So yeah. And I'm not saying like do a Abby and just like put somebody else's body and put somebody else's head, that was an artistic choice. But that's so weird. Like even The Last of Us, it's a grim, dark, but even they look better than, I don't know, I guess whatever. It's opinion, subjective, whatever. But sorry, tangent over. Going back to like the hardware discussion and like the future of video games. So what will happen is the prices will stabilize. Like what's gonna happen is that people, the slowdown has already happened, so people aren't buying as much because it's too expensive, right? So they're sticking with what they got, blah 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 blah. So a couple of things will happen. Prices will go down, obviously, but the prices will go down when someone else, probably China, a competitor comes out with a product that is just dirt cheap. And we have a new president in the U.S. office that allows China to sell their wares to the U.S. That's what's up. And then be like, oh, these are back to normal prices. I'm going to buy me a Chinese computer. Let's go. Or you just buy a component. It's like, I'm going to buy Chinese RAM. What they got? They got a tracking device in the RAM? I don't care. It's just a computer. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing about that's all like just not superstition, but it's all like fear-mongering stuff, because it's like, yo, you carry your phone everywhere. I'm recording on the phone right now. It's got a little green dot in the corner. It means they're listening. so I can't say nothing crazy. I probably said too much already. Here come the feds right now to scoop me up. I don't know, I'm just saying. But listen, that's, the phone is tracking, the phone is listening all the time. So if you're worried about some Chinese RAM or a CPU tracking you, which isn't really happening unless you're carrying your laptop, if it's a laptop, or if you're carrying your desktop computer with you, which is highly unlikely, what's the matter? You're already being tracked. It's ridiculous. You know, that whole thing is just whatever. But I mean, that's what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna come out, competition, and boom, it's gonna force the market to adjust. What did I see? I saw something recently about was it CPU or was it I'm trying to remember what it was. It was some crazy like advancement in one of the technologies, that whether it's, I don't think it was RAM, was it CPU or GPU? I can't remember. I know Nvidia is working on some crazy GPUs and stuff, but you know, whatever. It's the manufacturing, the fabrication. I always figured, like, why didn't Microsoft kind of get into that? I mean, they have enough money to, right? So why wouldn't they just like kind of spin up their own fabrication factories for chips, so that they don't have to, you know, be beholden to these manufacturers? I understand it takes a long time to spin those things up, you know, years and years, maybe a good part of a decade. Maybe not that long, but it takes a while. But you know, I guess they felt it wasn't worth it. But at the same time, it's like you're making chips for your stuff. You have all these data centers that you want to, whatever, you need chips for that, you need chips for AI, whatever. You know, it's just, I mean, maybe they are doing it on the low in like India or something where everything's cheaper, or I don't know, you know, maybe there's something that's happening behind the scenes that we're not privy to. But I've always wondered that, like, why is there only a finite amount of manufacturers for something that seems to be ever so more important than previous decades? You know, the more that we're kind of progressing, the more that we require these chips. And I was also watching a thing about the miniaturization of the resistor, and how we're reaching a point where we only have a few more steps left to the point where we can't get any smaller. And it's like one quarter of a micron or something. It's like super duper small. And they showed a visualization. I was like, that's ridiculous. Okay, that is ridiculous. But you know, this is how it is. And I think, you know, I think it was CPUs, because they were explaining this one company that was doing, I mean, it's not foreign to have like 3D stacking of the silicon, so that it isn't just a flat, you know, plane. It goes, you know, the information goes up and across, like imagine a cube, and it'll spread, you know, in the 3 dimensions. And I forgot how it was different from stacking, but there's some calculus. I mean, there's obvious calculus, but there's calculus to the spacing between the transistors, and like how far up it needs to be for it to be efficient, as far as opposed it just going on a horizontal plane. And it's a bunch of interesting things. I was like, that's kind of cool, but I'm done. I had to check out because I don't know anything past, you know, 1 and 0, open and close. You know, that's just about it for me. But it's kind of interesting when, I mean, we're talking about like hardware, CPUs, like this phone right here. All that stuff is happening in the phone right there. It's all these pixels are being, you know, processed and you know, created through all these technologies that we kind of take for granted. But you know, when we think about it, like how many little transistors are in there, and how fast things are happening, and like how can it improve, and all these things, and at the end of the day, we're crying about games, and this amazing technology that we have. It's in the cars now. I mean, it's been in cars for years, but more so now than ever. I heard another thing, real quick tangent, because this is long, but it was about the taillights of whatever, the newest Silverado, let's just say. I don't think it was a Silverado, but that's just the example. And like my truck, Trelly Belly, she's an old girl. You know what I'm saying? 2003. So there's no computer. I mean, there is no circuit board. I was gonna say there's a circuit board in the taillight. There's no circuit board in the taillight. It's a fixture that has the copper and all that stuff in it, but it's not an actual circuit board, no chips, right? So anyway, they were saying that if you damage your taillight, it's broken, you say, you could go to a junkyard, get the same part, slap it in, replace it, right? On my truck, you could do that. You could order it on Amazon, whatever. But for the newer trucks, you can't do that because there is a chip that is tied into the main computer of the vehicle that recognizes the taillight, and it has a specific like serial number or whatever ID number. And if you put in a different taillight from a different vehicle, it won't recognize it, and it will disable your turn signal system or whatever. And it's like the only way to fix this is if you have to go to the dealership and they have to run a $200 diagnostic and blah blah. I was like, oh hell to the no. I was like, there's no way I'm buying a new vehicle because I ain't got no problems with turn sick. That's the most ridiculous stuff I had ever heard. But that's how they do it. That's how they get you. They trying to get that money, trying to milk you guys, milk us. And I mean that was the tangent, but I just thought that was freaking utterly ridiculous. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna rock. I'm rocking old vehicles. I don't care how much gas it guzzles. I'm rocking these bad boys till the wheels fall off. But anyway, I appreciate you hanging out. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comment below. Let me know what you think about Greg Miller's rant. Again, we're still talking about it because it was so potent. About the taillight situation on new vehicle. No, you have to talk about that. And I mean, mainly what came from his rant is the hardware situation, right? And hopefully you have an Xbox. If you don't have an Xbox, or if you're looking into it, look into some I guess used PC parts. Maybe build a PC, or maybe get a secondhand laptop. Like the laptop that I'm rocking right now, I do music, I do Blender. I can play on it, but I don't. It has a really bad not an integrated GPU, but it's a 1650 RTX. Is that RTX? GTX? Might be GTX actually. I don't remember. But it's I mean, the only saving grace is that it has 32 gigs of RAM. So I'm like, all right. I think it's DDR4. It might be. I don't think it's 5. But regardless, I was like, all right, I'm gonna rock with this for a minute. And like something like that, if I needed to, I could whatever. Or you could buy the ROG Xbox Ally White Boy Edition. I bought mine for it was under 500. I mean, now I think it's a little bit more now, but that's one way you could play the games. You can play them Xbox games. Boom, boom, boom. You don't have to spend $1,000 on the next gen. So there are options out there for the budget minded to get in. And that's where we're at right now. Which, I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, as Xbox is resetting, so does the need for the industry as a whole to reset, as far as the hardware stuff. So we keep an eye on it. It's not going to last forever, but will the prices go back down to what they were? But no, they're not. But they will go down because it's about supply and demand, and demand is dwindling. So the demand for the Xbox is going up because Forza Horizon 6 is banger, and Gears, people keep saying it. Boom said it on his show. He's like, yo, I know a couple people, just casual gamers. They're like, yo, Gears of War, E-Day is exclusive to Xbox. I'm gonna go buy an Xbox now because I want to play that game. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to talk about. My bad. This is gonna be a long one. Not really, just a couple more minutes. So I watched the Epic, the State of Epic or whatever it was, State of Unreal, that's what it's called, right? And I mean, I fast forward through a lot of it. I started watching it. I was like, I don't need to know none of this. I want to go to the Gears of War part. And so I did. Zoom it. And I watched it. And I was like, because somebody else posted it or whatever, and they were like reacting to it. And I was like, I need to see it for myself on the big screen. So I watched it. I was like, yeah, Gears E-Day is the business. Yo, it's like, I'm looking at this game. I'm like, this Gears E-Day is, first of all, it's the first, it's a prequel, yes. I forget how many years before the first Gears game, but it's a prequel. And the fact that Gears is the epitome of bro shooter game. It is the bro box shooter box. Bro shooter box game box. Like people saying, oh, Xbox is the shooter box, is the bro box or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, Gears of War is literally testosterone the game. It always has been, right? And then even with Kate, still she got a lot of testosterone. And now you got the original G's. You got the original Gears. You got Dom. You got Marcus. And you got other people too. What's his name showed up? I don't know if Kim's gonna show up, but what's his name was he from the second one or the third one? Was he was Native American? Was he Native American, or he was like Incan or something? Anyway, he shows up. I'm like, yo, this game is full of just bro shooter goodness. And you see the reception. You see there's no like, oh my gosh, this game is woke or this. They're like, yes, big muscle dudes blowing up monsters. Game. That's what people want, to have this power fantasy of being a super soldier and blowing up creepy monsters, having their guts explode all over the place. It's simple. You know, you don't have to inject any type of agenda or political statement. Just make some characters that people will like. Make a story that's like, yo, that's crazy. They came out the ground? Huh? What? How? Huh? Come on, son. They went back, I don't say to basics, but they went back to the original source. Before the original source, they're giving us information. We got young Marcus getting his ass whooped. He's always crying for Dom because Dom's always saving his punk ass. Man. Oh, that's good. I already pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it already. I was like, you know what? Let's go. And I'm probably gonna buy Halo, even though I shouldn't, because they put it on freaking PlayStation. How dare they? But the exclusives I'm buying, like Clockwork Revolution, bought. Fable, even though that's going on, I'm buying it because I already explained how that's the jam. But anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Subscribe, comment, blah 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 blah. I appreciate. I'll talk to y'all on the next one. Till the week.